Any man who's honest and like sees things clearly, you become a red pill misogynist piece of. It just is what it is.
What?
If you're truthful, like if you're honest about the way it is, that's just how it goes. I didn't want to be that. Like I want to respect and fall. Like at my core, I'm a romantic, bro. I want to fall in love, hold hands, do all that cute bullshit. But it's not possible. They will abuse you until you're weak and then leave you. And that's why the resentment builds up. And I see the same, like I'm just meeting you for the first time. Like, yeah, that guy hates women. I get it.
Bitch, I'm outside of some movie.
One of the biggest red pill about women being on birth control, they make massively different mate choices. They did a study where they took a bunch of guys and made them not wear any cologne, deodorant, anything like that for like a week. And then they gave them all plain cotton white t-shirts and made them run on a treadmill for an hour and sweat into those t-shirts. They took those t-shirts, put them in a plastic bag, then they gave those t-shirts to a random selection of women and asked those women to rate the smell of the t-shirts on level of attractiveness. Guess what the results were? The ones that they rated the most attractive were the men that had the greatest difference in their immune system profile. If me and this woman have two very different immune systems, if we have a kid together, that kid is going to be protected against a lot of different diseases than if we had similar immune system profile. Here's the next massive red pill from that study. The outliers in that study were women who were on birth control. Women on birth control, mate selected, it was either randomly or deliberately against their own reproductive success. If a woman's on birth control, she is mate selecting totally different to when she's natural. Why do you think the divorce rate is so goddamn high? Two people get together. She's on birth control and she likes it. They decide we're gonna have a kid together. She gets off birth control, gets pregnant, is like, this guy is a piece of shit. I don't like him. And then she divorces his ass. Because that is literally what happens biologically.
You really want to get red pill today? Women will actively feel disgust by thinking about getting impregnated by a weak Jeffrey beta male. They will actively drip and lust to levels you have never seen before when they think about becoming impregnated by like the Chad alpha male.
One of the biggest reasons texting is such an issue for guys is because they feel the need to be texting the girl 24/7. Why? Because most men are insecure. They lack the self-esteem and confidence with the girl they like, so any moment that passes without talking to the girl could be a sign that, oh my god, she doesn't like me anymore. This is simping at its finest. If you're an insecure man, every text you get is not only a dopamine boost caused by her, but also a weak attempt at getting validation from the girl. This is why guys cling to texting so much. Getting texts from a girl is validation that she's still interested in them and likes them just enough to respond. And to the insecure guy, that response is everything. It makes or breaks his whole day.
Here's the real reason why so many young men are becoming right-wing and listening to people like him. So here's a bit of a thought experiment. Imagine you're an 8th grade boy. You're beginning to be told by your teachers, the media, and maybe even your parents that you're privileged because you're a boy. But that doesn't make much sense, and you start asking yourself some questions. If boys are privileged, why do the girls in my class tend to get better grades? Why are the girls more well-behaved? Why are there more girls than boys in my advanced classes? Why are the girls already preparing for college applications? You start asking yourself these questions. By the time you get to high school, your confusion only grows. Your friends who used to be super excited and energetic are now appearing unmotivated and demoralized. They spend more time online now, they're stuck at home, they're addicted to certain things. They overall do not appear interested in improving their well-being. Meanwhile, the girls at your school continue to excel. Then when college acceptances come out, you notice the girls tend to get into way better schools. They even attend more universities in general. And yet for some reason, all you hear about is how girls are underrepresented in higher education. It's just so confusing. When you look for scholarships to apply to, you find hundreds that are only open to women. When you tour college campuses, you hear how the school is so proud to have groups like Women in Law and Women in Business. it all just becomes too much. So you start doing research and you discover that men are more likely to be homeless, be alcoholics, be lonely, die of a drug overdose, and so on. The only people even addressing these issues are people like him and others. These are the only men who appear to even sympathize with how you feel. The bottom line is that more and more young men are going down this path. They feel unwelcome by society, they feel aimless, they feel lonely, and they need guidance. And with fathers missing from the home more than ever, with anti-male sentiment becoming more common than ever, there's only a few real role models remaining. So instead of just going, oh, it's sexist, it's misogynist, let's examine the root problem of all of this and try to imagine how we can actually fix it.
3 things alpha males never say to women. Number 1, will you give me a chance? You see how pathetic that sounds? You're begging a woman to be a part of your life when it should be her begging you to be a part of her life. You sound pathetic. You sound like you don't have any options. You sound like you're in scarcity. Number 2, when can I see you? When you're begging women or asking women when they're available, instead of telling them your availability, you're telling them directly that you're not a busy guy. Women cannot stand men who are needy and always there for them. They need to chase. They need some kind of mystery. And number 3, I can do better than him. She tells you she has a boyfriend and now you're trying to compete with her guy. You automatically look low value. High value men, alpha men, don't compete. We make ourselves the best option and then the woman decides if she wants to be a part of our lives or not.